Hey everyone, this is Walter, and we're back here with yet more stories I found on Reddit. Today we're going to be talking about relationships, using subreddits like Reddit Relationships and Am I the Asshole? They don't have to be about romantic relationships, but they often are. So let's just begin with relationship woes from Reddit. My husband, 29 male, and I, 30 female, get in a fight every year about how to celebrate his birthday. My husband has a weird hang-up about his birthday, which is mid-June. He says he hates the idea, doesn't understand why it is special, and would rather not acknowledge his birthday at all. I tried to get a reason out of him, but from what I can tell there is nothing specific, i.e. no childhood birthday trauma or anything like that, that makes him think like this. On our first year of dating, I asked if I could take him out to dinner on his birthday, and he was so rude about it I ended up crying and leaving before entrees were served. He then explained to me the birthday thing. So I have scaled back, significantly. The next year was dinner at home and I made him dessert. He was upset I made dessert because I never bake and he knew it was special for his birthday. The year after that I made him his favorite meal. Even though it is something I make for dinner often, he was not happy that it was obviously intentionally served on his birthday. It kinda just stayed like that. I did something small and he would get annoyed and I'd be sad and the day would suck. That went on for 5 years. Now to last year. All spring he was talking about wanting a new grill. Every day he would look at the patio and say, "We need a new grill." So I thought maybe if it's something he actually really wants, he will be happy. So I did a lot of research and bought him a nice grill and had it on the patio with a big bow on it the morning of his birthday. You would have thought I slapped him for how he reacted. All I know about his present is that it wasn't the right one, he doesn't know this brand, I thought I said it wasn't in the budget, and overall I am an asshole for buying this because now we had this grill and it was a present. I was extremely hurt and we ended up in a huge fight. Our friend group is pretty close-knit, so all couples were excited for what I got him because he never shut up about wanting a new grill. His guy friends said that there is no way he won't be happy, and were convinced he was dropping hints for the first time. They all called him an asshole for his reaction and told him his birthday thing is stupid and just to let me celebrate him. Now with his birthday coming up, I'm stressed. Do I finally throw in the towel? Do I actually not acknowledge that it's my husband's birthday? It goes against so much of how I was raised to just not celebrate someone you love's birthday. It feels really wrong to me. I imagine he will be extra salty that it is his 30th birthday. We just bought a really cool house with a really cool yard. Our whole friend group is vaccinated. It would be a great option for any normal couple to have a party, but at the risk of him hating me, that obviously is not happening. This is ridiculous. Just leave him alone on his birthday if that's what he wants. I'll admit that I might have thought he wanted the grill too, but I think he's just really sick of this. It's hard for me to imagine anything your husband could say or do to make it clearer that he doesn't want you to celebrate or acknowledge his birthday in any way. It sounds like he was a jerk about the grill thing, but I can almost see where he's coming from. He keeps telling you year after year that he doesn't like birthdays and you just keep doing things anyway. Hey look, here's one about a therapist where the therapist isn't the asshole. Am I the asshole for reporting my husband's therapist? My husband and I separated last year, but never got around to divorce due to the pandemic. Before separation, he was distant and seemed to be elsewhere mentally. After a while, he decided he needed time away and left me at home while he stayed with his parents across town. I suggested we try couples therapy to work through things, and he agreed. We were both in therapy, separated and as a couple. I was hoping that over time we'd be able to reconnect and work through things. Unfortunately, things didn't turn out that way. My husband and I were on a call with our divorce lawyers and the subject of why the divorce was happening was brought up. I assumed it was because of my husband's mental state, as he seemed distant and upset while we were together. However, my husband revealed that the reason behind our divorce was that he told his therapist that he was having thoughts of cheating on me. He wasn't acting on them, but he had thoughts about it. His therapist told him that if he truly felt that way, then he should leave me. After the call, I was absolutely shocked. It's not his therapist's job to tell him to leave me, and it most certainly is disgusting that he wouldn't even make an effort to warn me that he felt this way. I know his therapist's name and made a call to the supervisor of the facility. I told them that my husband's therapist needs to have his license taken for not handling his patient's issues properly, medically or morally. My husband called me today and called me a spiteful and hateful woman. His therapist is now on suspension while an investigation is opened on the matter. He said that I was a selfish bitch and he's glad to be away from me. It hurt to hear and it's made me feel weird about the whole situation. Am I really the asshole here? I told them that he encouraged my husband to act in a self-destructive way, encouraged a dangerous, intrusive thought, and has caused him to harm himself. I didn't exaggerate anything. Wow, what a fucking Karen. Using all those psychiatric terms incorrectly shows she knew exactly what she was doing. Well, if the guy wasn't sure about leaving her before, he definitely will be now. She's like, why didn't you tell me? I mean, if you could tell your partner literally anything, you probably wouldn't need couples therapy in the first place. Reddit would definitely tell him to sever. Okay, this is also from Am I the Asshole, and I remember it being pretty cringy. Am I the asshole for calling my friend desperate and leaving her by herself? I, 21 female, used to date this guy, Connor, 25. Connor and I met through some mutual friends and dated for around 7 or 8 months. He broke up with me and immediately moved on with one of my best friends, Millie, 28. It was hard to watch and it strained my relationship with Millie for a while. She'd constantly remind me that they were dating, and at the time it was hurtful. However, during that time I met my current boyfriend, Matt, 21. After Matt, the comments stopped meaning anything and I was able to fully accept things. My feelings for Connor disappeared and eventually I was able to move on and be happy. I mended my relationship with Millie as well. I now live with Matt after about a year together. I wasn't able to introduce him to everyone, but I got around to it a few months ago. The moment I introduced Matt, Millie began making the weirdest comments. Things like, "Ooh, OP, you and I have very similar tastes," and "Be nice to him or I might just have to take this one from you too." It was super uncomfortable for both me and Matt, so I texted her after to let her know that the comments weren't appreciated or appropriate. She told our mutual friends about it, and it was split between her being wrong and them telling me I was overreacting. She eventually apologized, but the jokes continued, just more subtle. It was easy to brush them off. "I'll just have to take this one from you too?" Gross. I already don't like this Millie. She called me a few days begging us to come over. Apparently Connor had dumped her and she was having a mental breakdown in their apartment. We showed up, saw the place was a mess, and told her to shower while we straightened up and ordered dinner. She calls for help from the shower. I go to help her and she's in her robe with it fully open, laying on the floor with her legs open. The second she sees me, she closes her robe and stands up like nothing happened. I didn't know what to think, but as the night went on, it just got to be a lot. She wouldn't get dressed out of her robe and kept almost exposing herself. It got a little late and she suggested I go home. I asked if she was okay with this. She said yes, so I began to pack up with Matt. She asked if Matt could stay with her, and I told her if she felt that unsafe alone, she should come home with us. She restated that she just needed Matt, and I snapped. I called her a desperate little bitch and left shortly after with Matt. She was crying when we left, but I didn't care anymore. She kept calling us, but we refused to go back. Yesterday we found out that she had a full meltdown after we left and didn't show up to work for 5 days. Her sister came to check on her and found the house an absolute mess. Millie told them we left her alone after she begged us to stay. I told our friends my side, and most of them are saying I did the right thing. But her sister and some of our other friends are saying I'm an asshole for leaving her alone when she was clearly in crisis. Honestly, I'm beginning to think I should have just sucked it up and held my tongue. Am I the asshole though? This girl obviously has some mental problems, but what exactly was the other option here? The OP couldn't leave her boyfriend there, obviously. I think anyone would have yelled at her at this point. And being that desperate isn't very attractive in the first place, of course. Looks like she got advice from Reddit, so here's the update. Edit. Thank you to everyone who responded. This whole thing has been eye-opening, and I feel so dumb for believing this woman ever cared about me. I thought her good could outshine the bad, but it's not enough. Ironically enough, I had a bit of a meltdown of my own today. I cried for a few hours after posting and reading everything, and I apologized to Matt for keeping her in our lives. He forgave me, and we called Millie and told her we were done. I dropped off all of her belongings I had in my car / at my apartment this morning and blocked her on all social media. I told my friends the whole story, even with all the embarrassment I felt. Everyone but Millie's sister and friends were in agreement that she isn't who we thought she was at all. I also, with Matt's permission and encouragement, confronted Connor. I asked if he had done anything with Millie while we were together, and he denied it. I don't believe him, but I refuse to dwell. I'm moving on with my life. Thank you all so much for your help. Okay, this is random. I picked this one out by the title, and the antagonist, if you will, just happens to be named Millie. Am I the asshole for not talking to my cousin and not going to her wedding over a prank and potentially ruining her relationship? Okay, so this is much different than it sounds. My cousin Millie, 30 female, is an ER nurse. Her birthday was a few days ago, and we planned a birthday prank, which was leaving a fake snake on her cake. All fun and games because we do this every year to every family member. Well, apparently this year Millie didn't want it, so she was pretty pissed at the fact we did it. Now, a few days ago, while I was in school, I got a call from Millie during lunch. I thought it would be her saying she's picking me up. Well, no, it wasn't. Millie proceeded to tell me that my mother had passed away in a car accident. My heart dropped and I felt like puking. My mother and I don't have the best relationship, but I still love her. Millie began to tell me the details of the death and what exactly happened to the point I hung up on her and called my mother. My mom, who was supposedly at work as a nurse, didn't pick up and I landed up running to the bathroom. I called my dad, bawling my eyes out and telling him what happened. He didn't understand what I was talking about because he talked to my mom right before I called. He made me explain everything and understandably he was pissed. He picked me up from school and called my mom in the car just to prove that she was alive and okay. That night my aunt, not Millie's mom, called a meeting at her house and we all talked it out. They all were pretty much disgusted with Millie as she tried to justify her choices, but she did land up apologizing. But I got up and stated that I didn't want to talk to her ever again. Now Millie is engaged, her wedding is coming up soon and I was supposed to be a flower girl. I'm 15 but they wanted me to be a part of it. So now I have pulled out of the wedding, which is what Millie is worried about. She doesn't want people to question where I am and started to yell at me for being petty. My dad took me home and I blocked Millie on everything. Her fiance, who I am close to because he and Millie took care of me when I was younger, landed up messaging me, asking me to come. I told him no, and what his fiance did was disgusting. He said while what Millie did was wrong for doing it at school, it was just a prank. I blew up at him. She told me my mother was dead. Fucking dead. I landed up yelled. He sounded generally confused and asked me what the hell I was talking about. I told him what happened, and turns out Millie and her mother lied to him and said that Millie just sent a gory picture to me while I was at school. Next thing I knew is that he left to stay with his mother and apologized to me. I apologized to him because I did call him a dick while I was yelling. Now I'm getting blamed for ruining Millie's relationship. I'm still not talking to her or her mother, but Reddit, am I the asshole? Edit, for clarification, Millie knew that she was going to get pranked. She has participated in pranks in the past and has never said she hated it. We also asked her close friends and her fiance if the fake snake was okay, which they gave us a yes, and that it was fine. Edit 2. Hello everyone, thank you so much for the amazing comments that you guys have left me. I'm reading them right now with my dad. I mean, the snake thing isn't even a prank if everyone knows it's gonna happen. So there really wasn't an excuse to prank back in the first place. But this level of escalation is just insane. True, not everyone would have this much of a reaction to it, but it was probably obvious the author would. And to say it was the OP who ruined her relationship? I bet the fiancé wouldn't agree that's what ruined it. Be sure to let me know what you think of this one and the other stories in the comments if you have something to say. I'm not always right, and neither is Reddit. I feel stupid just having to say Reddit isn't always right. Anyway, it's about all the time I have for you today. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you liked the video, please give it a like. If you have something to say, make sure you let me hear it in the comments. They help my engagement. If you're new here and want more content like this, consider subscribing because I've been putting in some work lately. And now it's time to shout out my patrons who help me with direct support over on Patreon. It's really helpful, of course. Jimmo, Alatuna Dan, Enui Blue, Levon, Maxo11X, Chris Sturman, MDB3000, Amelia Bunny, Amanda Gillies, Big Mike Shirley, Cacti Lady Wither, Cho, Daniel De La Pena, Deborah Douglas, Dr. A, Finn Yee, Horatio T, Justin Godsey, Kitty Sparkles, Clipper, Leanne Summers, Ouroboros, Rob Sopp, Sammy, Sandyman, Spoonie the Rogue, V stands for, William Ash, Jacob K, Camper Supreme, Megan Breeze, Psychic Kumquat, Alex Anakin, Alan Fang, Knit1 Code 2, Lil Spoon, Ms. Mayhem, Staples aka Jerry Yeet, Ben Pott, Francois Tremblay, Myopa Game, Nick Lucarelli, and Petulant Panda. It's actually kind of amazing I have so many patrons. Thanks again. There should be at least 2 more videos this week if all goes to plan. I'm not sure what yet, but let me know if there's anything you really want to see. And if this series is any good. Have a great day, everyone, and try not to ruin your life with any epic pranks.